So, I've gained a little hope in my life, just a smidge. Trying out new things, bettering myself. I have a cat now, but yet one constant remains in my life. Bad books, awful books, some might say melancholy books.
Melancholy?
Books where you're just like, oh, we've given up on everything. Effort, the publishing industry. Books where you're like, oh, this is made just to target Casey, me, lost in a bookcase. Hi, how you doing? Look at this thing. Look at it. Look at it. This right here sent me spiraling. It's not even cool enough for this cool bookmark my friend made for me, but we're just gonna leave it right here actually, because yeah, that's how much I read. I'm trying not to DNF books. I'm trying to give everything a fair and honest review, and how can one do that if they haven't read the entire book? So I suffered through this for like 2 days, trying to read like 100 pages a day, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this isn't getting any better, and it's just getting worse and more cringy. This book is just covered in that stuck in a weird 2000s edgy humor TikTok brain rot lingo that is just, well. And I was just minding my own business one day in Books A Million, and I see this book in the clearance section. That should have been my first clue, especially since it's like, it's got the gilded edges or whatever it's called. Hardcover, no less. And I'm like, egad, $7 for that beauty? Let me grab it. I could have bought a matcha instead. The last one is a romantasy where our main character Kai is thrown into a desolate land of sickness and unnatural beasts. Kai wakes up in the woods with no idea who she is or how she got there. All she knows is that she cannot reach the Sea of Devour. Even this hellscape will get worse. But when she sees the village blacksmith fight invaders with unspeakable skill, she decides to accept his offer for help. Too bad he's as skilled at annoying her as he is at fighting. But as she searches for answers, Kai only finds more questions, especially regarding the blacksmith who can ignite her body like a flame, then douse it with ice the next breath. And no one is what or who they appear to be in the kingdom of invaders, including the man whose secrets might be as deadly as the land itself. And it has a cool little picture of a moth. Oh, wait a second. I did not see that. I did not know that was under there. That's actually really pretty. I did get to the part where we saw a giant snake in the book. So if you're interested, there is a giant snake with that color pattern. Dang, this is only $7. If I can just rip the cover and I can keep this page, and if I can just get rid of all of this, we'd be fine. Maybe I should just get a tattoo, a little sleeve. Anyways, this book, nasty as it is. I just read you the summary. Well, not the summary, the little tagline, let's call it, the back of the book, the dust jacket, that thing. I read you that. Okay, what you think the book's about? We have a girl with amnesia. Only thing she knows is she needs to get to the Sea of Devour. There's a blacksmith who's good at fighting, who's going to help her out. He might have secrets. Ain't that just the most stereotypical romantasy trope out there, isn't it? Yeah. What if I upped you on that? What if I told you that's not even what the book is about? Whoever wrote this did not read the book. They are wrong. Or it's as badly written as the book itself. I'll explain. We're going to go through this one more time. Thrown into a desolate land of sickness and unnatural beasts, Kai wakes up in the woods with no idea who she is or how she got there. That is true. We wake up alongside Kai. She's first chapter, okay? The first chapter, okay? The first sentence of this book. So mind you, the context. She's laying on the side of the road. She's unconscious. We don't know how she got there yet, but there's a thief. Thief sees this woman on the road, and Thief is like, oh, she's got cool clothes. She got a cool little necklace. I'm gonna rob her. So the thief is on top of her, taking off her necklace. And that's when our main character, Kai, wakes up. Kai wakes up in the first sentence is, I open my eyes and choose violence. That is not the final time. I mean, it's the first time we're introduced to this book. So it is the first time, and it is for sure not the final time we get a little meme humor, meme sayings, I don't know. Very modern lingo that nobody with 2 brain cells with a synapse between them would ever, like, speak into existence unless they had the presence of TikTok. So this, you're just gonna get oodles of your FYP shoved down your throat. And the thing is, you can't swipe away. You're stuck here because you spent money on it. So yeah, she wakes up and she chooses violence. Like I said, she has amnesia. She has amnesia. Now, I am a lover of the amnesia trope. I love it, so I'm very picky about it. When my girl has amnesia, I want her to have amnesia. If you're curious why I love the amnesia trope so much, it's because I love Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, and that's where it all began. Her amnesia is not written well in the 37% of this book that I read, because when we're first in that first chapter with her, we're in a very high tense situation. She wakes up and she's being robbed. She doesn't know what the heck is going on, but she knows immediately, oh, I'm being robbed, I'm gonna fight. Very fine, very cool. But if you're like me and you're reading a book, you might, let's say I bought this a year ago. I probably read this little tag thing a year ago, but then a year passed, and now I'm just finally picking it up. And I started doing this lately. I don't know why I should stop doing it. But I've stopped rereading this thing, so I go into books kind of blind now. So I forgot that she has amnesia. When we read this book, that first chapter where she's chasing down that thief, we know she obviously has an injury, a head injury, because she was laid on the side of the road and she doesn't know where she is. But she doesn't have if I was somebody with amnesia on the side of the road, would I run after somebody who robbed me? I don't think I would, because I think I would be crushed with the existential dread of not knowing who I am. She's operating as somebody who is so calm in this situation. So calm in fact that I did not know that she had the amnesia where she doesn't remember her name until much later in the book. 2 or 3 chapters in, I'm like, oh, you got the full amnesia. It's just not that I woke up in this random place and I don't know how I got here. I thought she was just drunk the whole time. I thought that was the issue. But, oh, I don't know how I got here kind of amnesia. Because I was partying. I know I mentioned her and this thief so many times. So, she wakes up, she chooses violence. Thief takes her clothes. I'm going to take my clothes back. Give me my clothes. So she's running after this thief. This chapter, it's short, but it takes forever to do something. Because we're 3 pages in. And her thoughts, the point of view that we're trapped in, it's like a dryer of thoughts. It's just tumble, the same 3 thoughts over and over again. She's like, wait, stop, thief, I need to go get that thief. But wait, I don't know where I am. Where am I? Why don't I have any clothes on? Oh yeah, that's because the thief. Oh, a thief, she took my clothes. But where am I? Oh, I don't know where I am, but I know that I'm chasing a thief who took my clothes. That's why I'm not wearing any clothes, because the thief took my clothes. That, just over and over and over again. I'm like, girl, I know a thief took your clothes. I woke up next to you. That's the first thing I read. But oh my gosh, we get a break from all that. I say sarcastically because it introduces something far worse, okay? So we're running after the thief, and the thief is thiefing away, running. We're running after her, and we're alternating between, oh, the thief took my clothes. I'm not wearing any clothes because the thief took my clothes, so I don't know where I am. I need to follow the thief who took my clothes because I'm not wearing any clothes. The weird trinity of trapped thoughts. One new thought emerges, okay? Let me read for you, okay? It's not even the dialogue. The dialogue is cringe. And I don't actually know the term for this. I need to figure that out. But, it's just descriptions of the scenery, some of her thoughts, and then all of a sudden, as she's running after the thief who took her clothes because she's not wearing any clothes because the thief who took her clothes, the book then says, swarms of mosquitoes and hungry gnats drift through the hot, dry air and prick at me. They want a snack before the storm. Of course, I understand. Who doesn't like a delicious honey cake in this heat? The audiobook narrator, because I was listening and reading at the same time, she made that more seductive than it should have been. I was listening to that and I stopped what I was doing and I'm like, girl, you have amnesia. How do you know you're hot? No, wait, I hear your thoughts. You're like, that's not what she meant, Casey. That's not what she meant. You just read it wrong the first time. She's not calling herself a delicious honey cake in heat. She's saying that it's just the gnats who are just hungry for a meal, like you would be for a honey cake if it's hot outside. I've never had a honey cake, so I don't know if that's a comparable thing, but whatever. And I'm like, you know what, you're right. I must have just heard that wrong, or the narrator just did that in a weird tone. Oh no, girl. No. This girl, Kai, our main character, femme fatale, she will go out of her way to interrupt whatever she is doing to just remind you, yeah, I'm hot, like a honey cake in heat. And as you know, we're running after the thief that took our clothes because the clothes were gone because the thief took our clothes, and we don't know where we are, but we know we have to chase after the thief who took our clothes. We're running after the thief that took our clothes. Thief runs to a village, or girl runs to the village after the thief, and there's villagers villagering as they do, and they're all like, oh my gosh, this stranger, she's so tall. Her hair is so pretty. gee, never seen a woman that tall before. But you know, there's some naysayers. They're like, oh my gosh, she's practically running naked through the streets. What nerve? And Kai, she's like, yeah, well, I woke up like this. What nerve? I'm all nerve. Prim. Her name's Prim, by the way. Prim, like the Hunger Games. I would have loved if she threw up a hairball right then. She cost me $25. That's like 3 of these. 3.5. So, finally, we catch the thief that took her clothes because we don't have any clothes because the thief took her clothes. We catch her. I think I see a spider. Hold on, I'm distracted. Oh no, that's just me looking for the plot in this story. We catch the thief. We're tumbling on top of the thief. Punch, punch, give me my clothes back. I'm gonna choke you. All the villagers are like, hey, now stop that. Don't do that. The policemen are called, whatever, and they get Kai by the shoulders, and they're like, hey, you, we don't appreciate bad people. You're so bad even though you're so pretty and so tall, and your hair is kind of, But we don't like criminals, so you have to pay a fine. So now Kai is trapped in a small town she's never heard of that is actually very like dry and dusty, and all the inhabitants are really weird, and she can't leave until she pays off a debt to the community in which she has to do hard labor. This is the plot of Cars. We're now watching Cars. But don't worry, there's a hunky blacksmith. He's gonna help her settle the debt. You remember this? All she knows is that if she cannot reach the Sea of Devour, even this hellscape will get worse. I'll come back to that, but don't let me forget about the blacksmith. Hold on. But when she sees the village blacksmith fight invaders with unspeakable skill, she decides to accept his offer of help. Too bad. He's as skilled as annoying her as he is at fighting. Whoever wrote this is not her. Whoever wrote this did not read the book, because there is not 1 second of the 37% I read of this book where that man annoys her in any way. This was the most insta-love book. They're just on each other immediately. Hey, guess what? She randomly has the power to read thoughts. You can read the book if you wanted to see how she gets it, but she can read thoughts. And it is the most inconsistent thing. If I was reading thoughts, and I'm surrounded by villagers who think I'm a criminal, don't you think I'd be hearing all those thoughts and I'd be like incapacitated by all that? No. She, of course, only hears thoughts for like plot-related reasons. So, of course, when he sees her for the first time, she sees him, he's like, oh my gosh, she's so hot, so pretty, that hair, she's so tall, ooh, she's so naked. Anyways. And she returns it. She's into him. They just saw each other. And I would like to add just chapters later. Maybe 2 chapters later, she'll have a dream about him and she'll be like, I love you. 2 chapters later. I only got 37% into this book. And again, my argument that whoever wrote this book did not write this. We talked about how she has no idea who she is, how she got there. All she knows is that if she cannot reach the Sea of Devour, even this hellscape will get worse. This is a pet peeve of mine, because I love the unnatural trope. When I read that, I'm like, okay, so she wakes up with this urge that I don't know who I am, but if I don't get to this certain location, something terrible is going to happen. That'd give our girl drive, wouldn't it? No, it doesn't. She doesn't know what the Sea of Devour is until many chapters into the book. She's not on her way to the Sea of Devour until like 35% of the book. That's where we meet the cool snake that was on the cover, just letting you know. The monsters are also really random in this book. Like, I can't describe it really, just that the presence, because this is romantasy, so there's fantasy. So I know there's monsters, but I just can't describe the vibe of how monsters feels really out of place in this fantasy. Like, they're very like, oh yeah, there's a giant fly. Why the heck not? So yeah, our girl Lightning McQueen, she has to pay money because she turned over a cabbage cart or something. They called her a cabbage head in this book. Thank you for reminding me about that, Casey. I don't know, I just kept like thinking about this over and over again while I was reading. I'm like, if this was a movie script, like if this was given to me, I'm a director and producer, and they're like, hey, what rating is this? And I read it. Now, well, based on the dialogue, it has to be rated R because of all the F words and like the innuendos. But the way the dialogue and the actual like prose is, this is like middle grade. So I'm like, who's the target audience? So I'm like, who is this appealing to? Okay, again, she owes a debt to the community. The leader is like, you have to give us 12 geld. That's the currency, geld. let's call it dollars. So they're like, you owe us $12, get to it. So she stays at the blacksmith's house, and he's like, oh, just go around the community, go help. So weird. Because they were like villainizing this girl 12 hours ago. They were like, she's a scourge on the community. And then like after just a good night's rest, they're like, oh yeah, come into my home and clean, trusted stranger. And this personally irked me. Oh, I forgot about this. This is just another example of the dialogue with the thoughts. Look, I raise an eyebrow and smirk. He's having a hard time unsticking his eyes from mine. Yeah, I'm sticky. Anyways, she owes $12 to the people of this fair city. So she goes to a farm, a barn. She doesn't even muck stalls. What she does, she puts oats in a trough, just tip and leave. She milks a cow, and then she puts wool in a sack. For all that easy work, she gets $1, $1. And I'm like, easy peasy. That was so, yeah, just do that 11 more times and you're free, my girl. But she's like, oh, I can't believe I got paid this little. She did nothing. So besides just me hating everything else about this book, I just hate her as a person. Learn the value of $1. Do more work. And then she finds like a candle maker, and the candle maker's like, yeah, make me 2 candles. Each candle you make, I'll give you a geld. And she gets, by the end of the day, she gets $9 $9. She owes 12. For a poverty-stricken town, everybody just has money to spare for someone they were hating 12 hours before. That's all I got notes-wise. There's also something called like miasma we're supposed to be worried about in this book, and I'm like, that's from Legend of Zelda. And the tipping point of all this was when they're finally leaving the town, because she's like, I feel like finally I need to go see the Sea of Devour or something. And so she and the blacksmith are on their way. Just as companionable as can be, not a hint of annoyance between the two. They actually love each other, because they had at this point like 2 really cool days together. He was working in a furnace at the time while she was busy making candles and oats. I don't know. So how they got the bond, I don't know. I wasn't there. It happened off screen. So they're in the woods, they see like the giant snake, and then I think they're fighting like wolves or something. I don't care. And she can move wind. That happened too. She's fighting the wolves, and she beats up the wolves, and she's like, yeah, that's right, I'm that B word. And I'm like, okay, it can't just be me. So I broke my no DNF rule, but first I went to Goodreads. I looked at the reviews. It's less than 2.5. I'm not the only one who feels this. Honestly, anytime I read a book and I'm like, there ain't no way this has more than 3.2 stars on Goodreads, I'll get on it and it has 3.8, and I feel like I'm just stupid. Like I'm missing out on the complexities of this masterpiece. This having 2.5 stars made me feel hope. Hope in a people who don't just get shoveled whatever an algorithm tells them to read, who are actually like, oh no, that's actually written poorly. And so that is my first DNF of the year. When I decided to stop reading this, I was in a public park, and I was just gonna leave it on the bench just see if anybody takes it. But that had like as much malice to me as leaving a TikTok boom in a school, and I'm like, no. So I'll be a good citizen. I'm just gonna shove this in the library. But do I want to do that to the community? I'll think about that later. I have a huge stack of books I need to DNF, so maybe I'll film an unhaul next. Pretty exciting. Maybe next time Prim will be awake and like we can have like a little meet and greet with Prim or something. Prim! Watch this. Prim! She hates me. Ooh, yeah. Oh, everybody say hi to the sleepy baby. She got the biggest green eyes. I love her so much. So, hope you enjoyed the rant. Just a small one. I'm saving up energy for the rant I'll do for Alchemized. Oh my gosh, I hated that book so much. It's so bad. If you don't know the story about that, it was like a fan fiction. And I'm like, was the fan fiction good? Is this what y'all were talking about? What you were excited for? Because this sucks. So I read that book, like physically. And now I'm in line for it for the audiobook so I can reread it so I can get all my thoughts down. Because I'm like, this just doesn't make any sense. I don't get it. But anyways, thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Casey. This is Prim, the sweetest baby. And we'll see you next time. Stay ready, my friends. Bye-bye.